Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to 2025. I decided I was going to start a YouTube channel and that I was going to do my first recording today. So here I am, despite having loads of issues with flipping passwords and my new phone and having to download apps and whatever. I think we're all kind of pretty au fait with all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I said, damn it, I'm going to do it. I wasn't intending to do it from my car. I was intending to do it from somewhere beautiful. I live close to gorgeous beaches, but the light is fading. I'm determined to get this shot and upload it today. I don't intend to edit. I hope the microphone on the phone is working well, because I do have DJI mics, which are brilliant, but I just ran out of time and I don't have time to be setting up my proper mic system. So anyway, this channel is going to be about everything that I'm about, because every person is a vast world of experience and skills. We're all the universe in action, and we are just infinite beings. So I will be speaking about that and kind of direct experience of spirituality. Also psychology, because I have trained in psychology. Photography is a big part of my life for the last 4 decades. I did a photographic studies degree, which involved the history of art, culture, photography, went deeply into psychology and the social influences of photography, as well as the incredible beauty that this medium is capable of producing. So I'll be talking about that. I'll be looking at photographers' work and doing a deep dive into photography, which, because it's fascinated me for years, I'm still fascinated. I was as a student, I am as a practitioner, and for 30 years I ran a 2-year and taught on a 2-year full-time photographic studies course that I founded. And that was a joy, and so many students passed through and their lives were transformed by that. So I'll be talking about that. Also health, healing, energy. I qualified as a Tai Chi and Qigong teacher. Haven't been practicing a lot. I also qualified as a yoga teacher, so I love that, and I'll incorporate some of that. Now, I know you're supposed to niche down when it comes to YouTube channels, but I think the niche is going to be me, and it's either going to be for you or it won't, and that's fair enough. I guess politics are going to creep into it also, because politics is just so important. Our lives are run by politics. Now, I decided to start my channel today because I want to hold myself to account for things that I want to accomplish this year. I'm a good one for making out kind of loose plans for a day and or a week, and I kind of stick to them. But I really need to get more firm in my planning this year and actually create schedules that I'm going to stick to the best of my ability. I'm not going to beat myself up either if I don't accomplish everything that I want to accomplish in a day. I would invite you to put in the comments what you hope to accomplish, because I'm not very good at getting people I know to hold me to account, because I don't like to take authority from other people and be told what to do by people I know. If you're like that, you can do that here. You can put your weekly or daily plans in the comments, and we can create a little tribe of people who hold each other to account in a nice way. It's going to be informal. I mean, there's no way that I'm beating myself up over anything. Having retired from my job 2 years ago, taking early retirement, I headed off galloping around Europe on Interrail, traveling, and I was running for buses and trains and what have you, and that was all great. Stopped back in Ireland, supposedly for a few weeks before heading up to see some friends in Finland. And next thing, I just started getting stiffer and stiffer and more pain, until before I knew it, I was confined to a chair that I could barely get out of. I had to be looked after. I couldn't do stairs. In the end, I was practically confined to my bedroom because there were stairs going between my bedroom and my bathroom. And after about 8 weeks of that, and it was scary, somewhere in the back of my mind, I felt this is a temporary thing. And luckily, it turned out to be polymyalgia rheumatica. So I will be talking about that because there's not a lot of it about it online. I've come across very little. Lots of doctors telling you that it's just your head, neck and shoulders and possibly your hips, and that's that. And you should be out the other end in 2 years' time. But it's a lot more complex than that, I have discovered. They also don't know what causes it. So there's very little known about it. And there's been very little research done into it. So I'll talk about that. I was lucky that there was a locum in my doctor's practice who was a great doctor. I mean, just a naturally caring person. I felt, God, here is a real doctor. And I don't know when I've experienced a real doctor in years. He wasn't someone who sat at the computer and typed as you spoke to him, and did a little bit of taking your blood pressure and this and that. He actually cared. And he figured out that it was polymyalgia rheumatica. I had gone to the A&E before that because he was getting concerned and he felt, look, you might get a quick MRI if you go there. And this very arrogant doctor, after me being there for 7 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning, accompanied by my daughter, because I had to hold onto her arm and take baby steps because I had got to the stage that I couldn't walk. And this very arrogant doctor came along and actually Googled my symptoms, told me I had ankylosing spondylitis, bamboo spine, that my lower spine was fusing together. He also told me that I had systemic rheumatoid arthritis, which was going to get worse and worse and worse. Gave me a list of drugs, some of which I looked up, well, I looked them all up because that's what I do, I'm that kind of person. Banned in America. I thought, God, if they're banned there. So I'm definitely not taking any of those. Went back to my doctor, told him my experience. Oh, he said, I'm sorry about that. That doctor in that hospital thought he was God, and he certainly wasn't. He had a clue. I mean, I could Google symptoms myself. I don't need to spend 8 hours in A&E, have someone introduce themselves as senior doctor, look up Google and give me a completely incorrect diagnosis. So I'm sure a lot of people have that kind of experience. But anyway, the locum that I went back to in my practice while my own doctor was out on pregnancy leave, he had been asking me questions all along that I felt weren't kind of pertinent to me. But then when I told him about my upper body being so sore, now I thought my upper body was so stiff and sore because I had to use my arms to push myself out of the chair and to drag myself up the stairs by the banister. So once he heard that, he intensified his questions, which had all been about polymyalgia rheumatica anyway. And he said, look, there is a diagnostic called prednisolone, and if you take those, we'll see if it actually is polymyalgia. So I'm not a pill person. I have never even taken pills for headaches. I would just drink a lot of water. I could go on and on about the pharmaceutical industry and evidence-based medicine, which kind of isn't if you look into it. It's very corrupt, the whole thing. But anyway, in this instance, I said, look, what is the window that I can take them and then I can stop taking them if they don't work? And he said, well, you got 3 days, kind of to a week. So I said, look, I will try them. And I had been doing Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations, and I kept visualizing myself and my daughters jumping up and down in our front room in delight that, I was getting better. So anyway, I asked my daughter to collect the prescription that the doctor had sent to the chemist. She brought it home at about 3:30 on a Friday afternoon. I took the first dose, said take in the morning after breakfast, but I said, damn it, I'm not waiting until tomorrow, having committed to trying them. So I took a dose Went into the shower with my daughter, one of my daughters, because I had to be showered. I couldn't raise my arms above my shoulders. You know, I couldn't do anything for myself. I mean, I could eat, I could wipe my own bum, thank God. But apart from that, everything had to be done for me. And by the time I walked out of the shower, I was a new woman. I could walk up the steps into our front room from our kitchen, which was amazing. I could sit down in the chair and I could stand up. I could go up the stairs. I mean, it was like a miracle drug. So I've been taking the steroids since. That's about 18 months in, and tapering very slowly, because the last time I tapered down to 7 mg, I had to go back up to full dose because I ended up crippled again. So I'm taking it very, very slowly. Now, the reason I'm mentioning PMR at this stage, even though I will talk about it later in another video and I'll have a bit more research for you, because it'll be very helpful for people who are suffering from it, is that I can't stick to schedules that I used to before because of energy levels. And I might get up before and do 10, 12 things in a day and just gallop through them. Now I have to choose very wisely. And some days I can't do anything because I'm just so fatigued. That doesn't happen that often, I'm glad to say. But when I do feel plenty energy, I have to be very careful. You know, if I'm feeling like 50% of my normal self, I have to be careful, because I'm going to try and do everything. I'm going to try and behave like the normal Gillian, the usual Gillian, and I could end up on the couch for a week after that. Hence, I will not be beating myself up. But what I do intend to accomplish this year, and I've given myself until the end of April, is to have 3 online courses written in photography. Now, I've been kind of avoiding doing that because there are so many photography courses out there. Since I started looking at photography courses, I have had an avalanche of ads thrust at me on Facebook and elsewhere about photography courses. So I know just about every aspect of photography is already covered. But it's like, there are so many people who've written books. Am I not going to write a book because there are so many books already written? No. There will never be a photography course like the one I'm going to write. There has never been a photography course like the brilliant 2-year full-time course that I ran for 30 years that myself and my colleagues taught on. And I'm hoping some of these, them will come on board and do some coaching on the more advanced courses that I write. So there's that. I'm also finishing a course myself in photography, and it's a very niche area of photography. So my intention is to finish that and start earning some money doing that. Also, diet. I mean, I did Dr. Fuhrman's Eat to Live diet before, and I found it amazing. I mean, everybody was remarking on how amazing I looked and how much energy I had. So I'm going to do that. I haven't been doing that for a while, because another thing about PMR is it takes away your motivation. It affects that area of the brain. It kind of withdraws energy from the motivational area of the brain. But I'm so determined this year to not let that thwart me. So I'm going to do that and see if it clears up my skin. My skin is not great. It's been kind of getting worse. I don't know if it's the PMR, the steroids, or if it's just, you know, acne rosacea that's kind of getting a bit worse. So I'm going to see if the diet is going to clear that up. What else have I decided to do? Oh yes, a daily walk, daily meditation and yoga, to get back to my yoga practice in a gentle way, because it has been so frustrating to me that I haven't been able to practice yoga. I've just been too stiff and in too much pain. And so kind of that's more or less the gist of it. I'll probably write it in the notes under here to hold myself to account. If you have things you want to accomplish this year, put them in the comments. If you like, you know, it's up to you, obviously. I'm kind of thinking no one is going to see this video anyway. It's my first video, and I hope to be a bit more organized for the next one. But here I am in the car, getting it done. Going to get it uploaded later, and that will be a tick for one of the things that I've decided to commit to accomplishing today. So See you in the next video, and I hope your new year is off to a great start. Bye.